What the Sam Hill is happening?
Is this working? Okay, my MacBook is picking up sound. Congratulations, MacBook. Thanks for coming and playing. Let's, let me try flipping this back.
Is this... I am so mad. This is on... But I'm not on now, am I? Oh, I am. Okay. Sorry. The too much was the MacBook microphone, wasn't it? I could see it peeking into the red. Let's just take a moment together. Let's just think about things that we're grateful for. There is fresh snow outside. Winter is here. Oh, wait, am I grateful for that? My mic taps are also... Oh, I'm so sorry. Because I'm misophonic, so if people make noises like that in my ears, I get so upset. So my rant of the week today... Oh, I wonder what the hell is going on. So let's see if I switch it back to you're not going to beat me. No, you're not. No, you're not. Tech issues. I just want to throw things. Okay. Apparently, I need a higher dose of progesterone to get through this. And from the top, you know, I was thinking when I was playing the theme music, Mike, that I would... can I play your theme music, your version? Let me know. I would just like to... I'd like that to be the overlay, and I'd like to play your version. I won't get a copyright strike because I own a license to use. Yeah, I think so. If you're okay with it. Nothing now? Wait, but I don't know if it's now or it's 30 seconds ago. Nothing now. Yeah. Nice new sound effect. I'm not doing cheer dance again, Rodrigo. Gracias, pero no. Basta. And I'm a bit soft now. If I turn that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to sit here. Is the rant of the week, is that bad for your tech? No. It's not. I'm going to get my shit together, basically, is what I'm going to try to tell you guys. But this is what we're going to talk about this week. It's a light week because there hasn't been any international live hockey that has been clippable, observable, watch partyable by myself and the fine folks in the yellow group. So we are looking at a couple things that popped up on socials, a couple issues in the whole thing. But we're going to talk about something. I'm so flustered now. Those are the three topics we're going to talk about. Why social media ruins everything. Or why is Keely mad today? Karting captains for returning late to the pitch. And dealing with raised hand dissents. And I got a couple bonus topics that we might talk to you as well. And it's not about it being the highest quality. It's that you took the time to learn the song and you played it, and it's adorable and I love it. So there you go. I did get your name correct. Thank you, Akath. I appreciate that. And it's nice to have you. Thank you for tagging me in that Instagram thing that I did last week. This is my existence, because as you are about to find out, it's one thing to look at questions on social media, and it's another thing to answer them. Here's our first topic. Why is she mad, bro? The Blomendaal penalty stroke.
In de corner voor Bloemendaal. Brinkman neemt hem. Stadler en dan tegen het lijf van Umpire gaan. Dan denkt heel Den Bosch, dat wordt een corner. Maar het wordt een strafbal. Bal van Brinkman hier via Stadler op het lijf van Umpire. Had nooit meer op goal gekund. Had absoluut geen strafbal moeten zijn. Dat vond scheidsrechter Otter na de wedstrijd zelf ook.
The poll that I've added, you may detect that there is a small amount of cheek, perhaps some sass, in it, because I have not only given you a number of options, you can vote multiple times and you can add your own as this whole thing continues. Okay? So there were many, many comments on one of the Instagram posts that I saw on this. Icons put it up. And let's see. If I go to this, and this is what Icon's Instagram looked like. So right away, the top item, which is always above the fold, the top paragraph, says, I saw in the footage within 5 seconds that we were wrong. And they don't attribute it to Michiel. And if I'm pronouncing that remotely correctly, please tell me. If I've got that terribly wrong, please tell me that too. But Michiel Otten, I believe, could be attributed to this because he is the umpire in question. But here it is, above the fold. I saw in the footage within 5 seconds we were wrong. Now, I think it was last week that we had another story where an umpire in the Hoofdklasse made an error and owned up to it. It was Armand Treppels. And he said, hey, I have looked at the footage. I was wrong. It was my mistake. And I apologize for that. My heart is in my throat. My brains are in my stomach. I feel terrible. And I applauded Armand for saying it. I was fairly happy with the way that the story was sort of presented from an editorial perspective. I was very unimpressed with how the coach reacted. And I am a coach. I like coaches. It's not that I have a problem with coaches, but there needs to be, some sense of perspective, which doesn't get helped when the very same entity that puts out the Instagram headline that we saw and then reports on the question like this, and the headline reads, questionable penalty stroke, decides game. This is why we can't have nice things. And for a social media property, for a media property to have come out and said, on one hand, here, we're going to treat umpires fairly and give them an opportunity to say things in their own defense, et cetera, but let's lead the story with this call decides the game. Because they're wrong. And they're just very, very wrong. Okay. I'll go back to the replay for just a quick second. And I mean, honestly, for all the people who then came on my social reels and looked at this and said, oh, that's a PC. I don't want to be an asshole, but come on, Captain Obvious. That's not the question. My question was, why am I mad? I tried to lead everybody right into it. Why am I mad today? And I'm mad at, okay, I'm not going to tell you how to answer the poll, but you can probably guess that it has nothing to do with the decision because it was made. The umpire himself says here, I made a mistake. I knew immediately. As soon as I saw the replay, I knew I was wrong. This is not a question. This is not a question. How we treat these things is absolutely what the question is. So I want to present to you without audio, just in case that is considered not assistive. I am going to transform this piece of content by narrating some of the amazing things that you're going to see in this 3-minute, 29-second highlight package. And you'll see some big calls there. You see an attacker being, going down to ground after an attempted tackle. Blomendaal's mad. Play goes on. Amazing goal is scored. Watch this play by Blomendaal. Fantastic turnover, great, and unfortunately duffed the shot. Okay. I'm learning Dutch by listening to the Dutch Hoofdklasse commentators. It's really coming along quite nicely. And then here's a play. Thierry Brinkman driving into the circle. Down on the ground, gets a free hit called against him. And then it's the end of the quarter or the halftime. And I assume, and if anybody has better information than this to correct me, please do, then goes on to receive a green card from the captain, I think for dissent. But it might have been for diving. Wouldn't that be fun and exciting? But if somebody saw that and didn't draw my attention to it, I swear I will punch you in the throat the next time I see you, because that is the most interesting thing that's happened in decades in our sport. All right. Here's a penalty corner. Look at it, just incredibly penalty corner defense. Arthur van Duren stopped a shot with his hand on his reverse stick. What? And watch this play. Zach Wallace scoring an incredible goal. Like, what? Again? Who is this guy? The shortest man ever to play in the Hoofdklasse since Jeroen Hersberger. What? This is amazing. Like the quality of this play. I'm getting so excited just watching it and being able to narrate it for you. Poorly, but I'm narrating it. And then we have this aerial. That goalkeeper. What? He intercepts the aerial on the edge of his circle. Did you see that? Great backhand shot. Great save by the goalkeeper. Great defense. And then here's the play that leads up to the snippet that we've seen. Okay, somehow the Blomendaal players are mad. Maybe they wanted a penalty stroke because the defender presented a long barrier, made sure to stop the ball, and that could have been an intentional foul. Maybe that would have been the more correct decision. I'm not even going to dissect that. Okay. And here comes the penalty stroke. Everybody, just check the clock. 3:33, fourth quarter. And the point I'm trying to make by showing you this extended highlight package is that there were a lot of really incredible hockey things that happened just watching those highlights. And I'm sure there were things that we didn't even get to see. And yet, the thing that decides the game is that mistake. That is bullshit. That is utter bullshit. That is disrespectful to all of those players doing all those amazing things. because it sends the message that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Zach Wallace, that you scored another electrifying goal. It doesn't matter, Arthur Van Duren, that you made that amazing save on the penalty corner on your reverse stick. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, whoever the goalkeeper is, somebody tell me, who made that incredibly courageous aerial interception. All of those things don't matter because the game was decided by an umpire error. Bullshit. Stop it. I work my way into it and then I forget that I have to press the button. That's twice on the rant count. And what really bothers me, other than the sheer lack of correctness, it is illogical. It is untenable. It is just an utter fallacy to try to say that one single decision decides a game. It's that they do it for the algorithm. I had this fight with Bernardo Fernandez, amongst many other fights that I used to have. I love B. He's an amazing guy, incredibly passionate, devoted to hockey, was running South Pass before he just got so fed up and so frustrated trying to run a business in this sport. Hi, I know how you feel, right? We had that in common, and that's one of the things that he and I really bonded about. However, I went through his analytics once and looked at what his top posts were of the year. And remember, South Pass showcased incredible skill by all of the players. All these inventive, highly legal, but still crazy creative things that have in some ways and fashions worked themselves into the modern game. There are little elements of what they created in the top hockey skills that are coming down and what players are starting to do these days. And yet, his best performing posts were ones where he highlighted umpire errors or umpiring controversies, if we can even get that general about it. So you know what? Maybe treat umpires with a little bit more respect during those errors, because we're the hand that feeds you. I'm trying not to say the word. And you're doing it wrong. You're playing it wrong. And disrespecting, discrediting everything that we're supposed to be highlighting in the game, which is the players. I'm going to look at your comments now and see what you think. It was great. Ian's just arrived at Lee Valley. Okay. Hi, Ian. I'm sorry that you guys are always umpiring on Wednesday nights. It sucks. Why? I know it's the most discussed decision. Why? It's an obvious decision. There was literally nothing for me to present there, except for what I'm about to rant about in part B of this section. She says, foreshadowing. It did. It looked like a game that I wish I could watch live or even watch on replay via play. I want to see this stuff. He did stop with his hand. With this. And he just kind of shook his hand and went, well, another job done. 4-time FIH Player of the Year. Oops. Okay. See if I can get myself together enough to present this. Now, when these things happen on socials, I'll go and I'll review what the comments are saying. They say don't look at the comments. I look at the comments because I am trying to get a sense of where the general zeitgeist might be. What are people thinking about this? What questions they have? How can I help sort this out for at least the members of the hockey and particularly umpiring community who give a shit enough about things being correct to come into this kind of environment where we can have a meaningful, purpose-driven discussion so that we can get an answer. And so I go through the comments, and there was one in particular that caught my eye. I have to turn all these off and put this up. Oops. So this anonymized individual said the following: lots of people calling for a PC, but can you explain what the exact infringement is? Apparently we can't create danger to our own team, ? Also, the opposition wasn't disadvantaged. In fact, they were nearly advantaged, if not the quick reactions of the defender. I'm not saying I'm right, just trying to understand. I'm new to umpiring, but my reflex is okay on. So other than the typo autocorrects, which clearly don't flatter the presentation of this argument, I thought, oh, all right, this is a good question from a beginner umpire. This is an opportunity to help. So I popped in with this. Said, don't look for the clever call. The ball striking the defender's body gave him the opportunity to clear it, and we're not looking at all the sliding doors and well into the future. Now, is that a fully explained, nuanced reply? Is that the kind of reply I would give, say, here on this live stream? Absolutely not. That's why we can sit here and we can talk about a scenario for 45 minutes, because I give fulsome answers. You all give me your fulsome answers. I press you into giving even more fulsome answers. We have a fulsome discussion, and we are closer to a form of consensus by the time we get to the end. But that is where I came to. And let's just see. Make sure I'm not lost. Okay. And the person came back with this response. But to me, it looks quite clearly that the ball was deflected clear of the goal and would have probably gone off for a long corner. I'm not looking for a clever call. I'm looking for which rule has been breached so I can learn as an umpire. So O can learn as an umpire. You've still not told me anything that suggests you know what you're talking about. So I have to neglect your comment. So some time ago, I prepared a whole bunch of graphics for the server that I didn't, I looked at them and I didn't sort of draw people's general attention to them too much, because they're kind of mean. They could be used in mean ways. They could be used to be more antagonistic and snarky and that sort of thing. So I didn't really bring them out, but it's a whole series of logical fallacies as illustrated by mostly Ed Hockley, who is kind of like the most awesome NFL football referee out there because he's got big pipes, he's hot, and he's a lawyer, and he loves to explain his decisions over the stadium broadcast. I am not an American football fan. I am an Ed Hockley fan. That's very, very distinctive difference. And this, my friends, as soon as I saw what this guy said, I was like, you don't understand logic. And sorry, yes, this person is a man, which is very often the way that things happen in the world of officiating. Okay, somebody goad me into it, but I'm not going to do it right now. Anyway, so this piece of reasoning, it looks quite clearly to me that it would have probably gone off for a long corner. I'm looking for the rule that's been breached. He's committed the logical fallacy of begging the question. I did explain to him, you've assumed that there's no disadvantage, but that is too clever of a, like, that makes an assumption that but for the ball striking the player's body, it would have gone off for a long corner. There are about 1,000 things that could have happened in that moment. That ball could have struck that defender's stick and popped straight out to an attacker. That attacker who was roaming at about 4 meters away, who could have then one-timed it into the goal. There are so many things that could have happened. The easy call, the sensible call, the one that doesn't have you trying to sort through physics and probabilities and all kinds of clever thinking, is just to call the corner. And that is the consensus spirit in which we apply that rule in our sport. So my response was, well, if everything that I've done is not enough, and I clearly don't know what I'm talking about, then, well, good luck to you. And this is why I hate social media. What I thought was a good question that I could give a good answer to and have a good discussion with turned into somebody who doesn't understand logic. And despite being new to the game, knows more than somebody who is very much not new to the game. And I can't deal with that. From 2006 to 2012, I was well, not for that whole time, but I was on the Field Hockey Forum, which was a bulletin board that is now defunct. Some of you here in this audience may have been on it and you recognize me from there, you remembered me from there, and we've been friends for all this time. Some of you have been around that long in, my knowledge of the world. And for many of those years, yes, I was the most prolific poster on the forum, because in the umpiring corner, which was a subsection of the Field Hockey Forum, I was in there, usually daily, answering questions and participating in the discussions. I was the only international umpire who was, first of all, not hiding behind a pseudonym, because there were several international umpires around who watched the discussions and would message me privately and say, "What the fuck are you doing, Keely?" Just leave them to it, because they're not listening to you. I'm like, I know they're not, but I'm trying. And for 6 years, I tried to share what I was learning, what I had learned as an international umpire. I enjoyed the opportunity and I appreciated the opportunity to hone what has turned into my craft, which is analysis and education and understanding of umpiring. Those years of having to write out all of these very complex answers and thoughts. I mean, God, some of the discussions we had were just so incredibly intricate. They were very difficult to work through. And I got so much practice, so many reps. And for a lot of my labors, I got harassed by male members in the forum who didn't like to be told something other than, yes, your opinion is equally valid to mine. And I eventually just gave up. I said, I'm done. Enjoy. And since then, I'd missed the opportunity to engage with people about rules and understanding and languaging and all those things. And this live stream has taken that place for me. Absolutely. Did I realize it at the time when I was starting it that that's what I was doing? Absolutely not. It's just one of those beneficial side effects, I guess. But I have conversations with a lot of you in the community about your participation on social media in these various groups and forums. And I've, to varying degrees, tried to dissuade you from investing too much time, and particularly your emotional energy, into these things because social media is not built for meaningful discussion. It's not built for building understanding that respects everybody's input, but also understands that when it comes to officiating, there is a hierarchy. It is not a democracy. It is an autocracy that is benevolent and takes input from a variety of parties and then ignores a lot of it. That's just what sport is. That's what officiating is. It comes from the top, it filters down, and we do what we're told. It's rules. We're following rules. This isn't hard, you guys. It's not hard. So it's a fine line, and in a lot of ways, I'm a hypocrite because I don't see what the contentious issues are unless they are posted to social media and people are flipping out and getting it completely wrong and refusing good advice and good logic overtly. And I still take those things and then I try to make them into scenarios and situations and issues that we can learn from. So what's the conclusion of this? I don't know. I'm going to look at your comments for a second. It'll come to me. Stadler. Thank you very much, Aline. Alex Stadler. I wasn't sure about that. Jonathan, you sound like something I wrote to Swiss Hockey. It appears here it's okay to offend, abuse umpires. It's okay everywhere. It's okay in every sport. It's the way that we think about what officiating is instead of an artistic, contributory, sporting role inside the sport. It's like we are elected officials who are like a form of government or police. And errors are not allowed. Errors are not acceptable. And we are the enemy. And why would anybody sign up for that shit? And I sit here week after week, try to convince everybody how awesome this is and how much fun it is and how much you personally grow and gain from being an official. And then we have an umpiring mistake that decides a game. Umpires don't get credit for great advantages. Mistakes do so. And it's a fact of life. Benno, the umpires never right now, no matter what. One bad call overshadows the other great calls we make on the field. Yep, and it discourages you from wanting to umpire again. Yeah, and that's the other part. And I don't know. Maybe they know who I am, maybe they don't. Right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in a lot of ways, except when your argument begs the question. You have said that there is no disadvantage. You have assumed that as a fact. Therefore, there is no foul. And then you say, show me what rule was breached. Well, you're not, your presumption of fact is incorrect. So it's a logical fallacy. That's it. We're witnessing the Cassandra effect. You now know what we're talking about, but no one else is listening. I'll have to look that up. Tell me more about this Cassandra effect in the server. Because I'm in such a great mood. I'd really like to go down to a rabbit hole of my misery. We can offer help, but we can't help those who refuse to help, and they'll forever wonder why they're unhappy or not progressing in their umpiring career. There are people I see in those forums who back in 2006 were at the exact same level that they are now. Maybe it's you. And I refuse to let anybody in my community who wants to progress wallow in non-progression. I will do everything I can to lift you up as far as you can possibly get. Now, that may not be any further than level 2A panel. I don't know. But I sure as hell am not just going to sit there and go, poor them. Because it's not about achieving the next level. It's about you learning how to learn. It's about you learning how to progress and accept your own failings and to work on your own strengths and to mitigate your own weaknesses and how to put away your pride and how to do things that make you a better human. That's what it's about. It's not about whether that was a penalty corner or a penalty stroke. It wasn't. Okay. How was that for a start? This is what happens when there isn't any live matches to distract me into the minutiae of some very, very deep plays. Mikhail, good for you. And you're fine. You made a mistake. We're all there. Before we move on to our next topic, oh, you know what I didn't do is I didn't put on my soothing music. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ranted so much. No, I would have. I absolutely would have ranted so much. Oops. Went into the wrong section here. I have good news. And today, do I ever need good news? My good news is this. Ben has just gone and qualified for his level 2. I met Ben when I was over in England. He came out to the Bromsgrove talk. And yes, he was there at the Bromsgrove talk. And we sat around and had a drink. We had a pint afterwards. Okay, I had a glass of wine. He had a pint. And we were sitting in a group talking. And it was so nice to get to know him. And Ben works really hard. You know, he's been a part of this community for a long time. He doesn't show up in the server as much as he would like to, so he tells me. But he works hard on his fitness. He's around. He takes in and absorbs all the material, and he is progressing. If you're interested in finding out more about what the third team is all about, there's a QR code that you can scan. It's over there. It's over there. I'm really proud of him and very, very happy for him. So good job. Was that 40 minutes? Oh my God. It flew by. Here we go. Here's the next topic. Aline, did this not get the rest of it? Was this not the second most topic in Dutch hockey over the past weekend? So, I don't have video. There isn't any video, I guess. I'm not sure. Oh, I gotta put this over here. I just don't want to give the ads out. Why should I do that? Translation, obviously. But here is an article explaining what happened when Almer, if I'm saying it right, returned to the pitch late after halftime. Now, as I read this article in the translation, I'm confident that when I read a translation that Emma van Velthoven, who made the decision, says that it was drizzling on that day, so we know that it's not beautiful weather, okay? And not somewhere you want to be standing around. But it was drizzling, so no spraying, watering of the pitch was necessary. According to the rules of the game, hyperlink. Rules of the game, hyperlink. Great way to present it. Thank you, Hockey NL. I let the coaches know and said that's why halftime was 10 minutes. That is always the case when there is no watering. Great. Okay. So not only is the decision in the rules or the, you know, whatever that's supposed to be, that's the way to apply and make the decision is in their actual rules, but also she took the proactive step to communicate with the coaches and say, hey, it's only going to be 10 minutes. because I guess what happens is some of the watering cycles at some of the pitches in these clubs takes longer than 10 minutes. Therefore, they don't say, come out onto the pitch and get sprayed and stand around. They say, no, just stay in your cozy clubhouses until that time has passed. The Umpire players returned to the pitch when it felt like 10 minutes had passed. Like, why not? We walked around the clubhouse. We saw HOD was ready. And when the referee indicated we were running late, we started running. Van Veldhoven says, well, HOD had already made comments. It was taking a very long time. And girl, what up? What are you going to do about it? She clocked off as soon as the first Umpire player walked onto the field. It was 1:37 p.m., more than 3.5 minutes late. 3.5. Let's see. My camera is frozen again. Hi. So, as I was saying, the rest of the team came, followed suit, but 3.5 minutes had already elapsed before the team was even ready to restart. And Emma consulted with a colleague and agreed there was only one conclusion possible: a yellow card for spoiling the game. Time wasting, I presume. We were quite surprised by this decision. Never in my 28 years of coaching, says Mr. Lardamasa. Quite surprised. We were not aware of any harm. I don't think we were back too late either. I thought we'd get a warning at most. That happens often? But I've never experienced a yellow card for this in 28 years. I asked how late we were, but didn't get a clear answer. Okay. Wait, I need to get to the right scene. I have to figure out how to look into this camera now, but... Hi. What do you mean you don't know how late you were? What do you mean you don't know how long you have? What do you mean that you're playing at a very high level of club hockey and you didn't start your watch? What? Hey, there's this app called Match Gear. Oh my God, that was so good. Look, it's right there. There's an app called Match Gear. You can sign up for it, and you know what you would do? You'd press next period, and it would automatically start that 10-minute timer for you. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Try it. Let me go back. So, this is the Instagram of the team that was penalized with the yellow card. And to their credit, they did not blame their 1-goal loss to the 5-minute yellow card they took at the beginning of the third quarter. Thank you. So you see, I will absolutely notice if a team does the classy thing in terms of looking at the result and saying, yeah, it didn't change anything. And in the article, I mean, this is all translated and such, and it says, yes, we came out of our locker room too late. That resulted in a yellow card for our captain, although this caused a little inconvenience for us. We often managed to reach the HOD circle, HOD, but unfortunately failed to score a goal. So they take responsibility for, they're like, yeah, we had lots of opportunities. We just didn't score. So that's good. That's good. So let's, now that I've had my little ranty part about it, let's have your thoughts about all of this. Oh, the Instagram to show up. Okay. Really nice picture of Emma in motion. Looks fantastic. Great work. And there are questions about, hey, can somebody tell me where it says in the rules that it's a yellow card for not returning to the pitch on time? I saw another one, but only a green was given in this. And there was something about 8 minutes and 10 minutes, no clear rule, blah, blah, blah. Rest always lasts 5 minutes. I mean, there's lots of, people just not really agreeing with what this says. A couple of people saying, I don't think it says anywhere. There was no intent, so green would have been sufficient. Okay, so let's hear your thoughts as to what you think. And let's keep our comments couched in the context of, at our level of hockey, we have things like, how many of you umpire matches where teams have, you're playing at a clubhouse and the team goes into the clubhouse, into a locker room, and spends their halftime there and then returns? Because, I mean, in my world, that doesn't exist. We have porta potties at the side of the turf. We barely have dugouts. Clubhouse, like, amazing. But maybe you're not even playing with a 10-minute halftime. Maybe you're not doing this, maybe you're not doing that. So you can talk about it in the two ways. What would I do as an umpire in my little universe? And what would an umpire within this context decide? The context being, beg your pardon? The context being, I'm not, what level of is Almere? Is this promoted class or transitional division? So that's the one below promoted class. That's overgang class. Did I get that right? So we're talking like national club level, but not Hoofdklasse. We're 2 below that. Please correct me. So we're still looking at a high level of play. And we're talking 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes. That's not a short period of time to stand around in the rain, waiting for your opposition to show up. That's a little better. Stand around in the cold rain for 3.5 minutes. There's no harm. The other team could have sat in a warm clubhouse for the same amount of time and had an extra 3.5 minutes in which they could have discussed their team strategies. Maybe during that 3.5 minutes, they would have come up with the amazing idea that would have given them just that penalty corner variation decision that would have, increased their lead as soon as they won their first. There's no harm. And yes, this is us, right? This is our life. Teams always stay on the pitch in your games. So it's not an issue. Yeah, we just like walk back over to the dugout. And I mean, look, I'm not going to lie that there are some games where I don't want to go back out there. We're losing and I'm playing like shit and I'm not having any fun and the weather sucks and I'm like, why am I here? But that's just me and the mood I'm in right now. But I still, I might edge out another 15, 30 seconds, but I'm not looking for 3.5 minutes. What? Elaine, you think it's like how it's possible when you coach for 28 years and the same thing happened in Belgium already? It's contagious. It's contagious. It's not a rule, but a regulation. The timing of the halftime is a regulation. And see, I'm doing that thing that I didn't do last week. I will never make this mistake. where I assume that something isn't in the rules. Because it's in indoor that the duration is specified in, but it's not specified in outdoor. No, the match. Hang on. Here it is. So the rules of hockey specify that this is the minimum. And much is what happens in the world of hockey. Regulations vary these things according to local competition needs. So at the international level, we need a longer commercial break. We need time for the comms to go have a bio break, get a cup of tea, and come back, and also narrate the highlights package that the producers have already put forward. And there needs to be time to water the pitches, and there needs to be also all kinds of things, right? So this is the minimum that you can, you can change in regulation. But there's nothing in the rule that says what you do if somebody's late. That's absolutely true. And unless, let's do it. Let's do it. Why am I being silly? Rules of the game. Why do I think that this isn't going to give me... Let's see what happens. Okay. First of all, it's going to be in Dutch. Second of all, it's going to be KNHB. C of all. Okay, so I won't go through with that. But if anybody who is Dutch in the crowd would like to tell me and clarify for once and all, because the comment section was not very helpful about that sort of thing, whether it actually does. But other than Emma, in her interview, as she is being quoted saying, according to the rules, this is what it is. It's 10 minutes unless it's more because of watering. So, but I don't understand those same regulations to reflect a penalty if the team doesn't come back on time. So yes, Luke, it is a rule, not, or it's not a rule, it's a regulation that varies the rules of hockey. And yes. And Jonathan, to be clear, why was there a card because of delay of play? Had it last game, the team was difficult to keep it clean. So it's not strictly time wasting. So it's not a foul about time wasting, which actually exists in Section 9. 17, players must not delay play to gain benefit by time wasting. That is an actual foul for which a team penalty can be awarded, and personal penalties can be awarded as well. It is not time wasting because the time is not running. And unless you're in a competition where you have a finite amount of time on the pitch, you have a booking, and it ends at the hour. And therefore, if the game has gone over because of whatever delays, it has to end on the hour. It can't be considered time wasting because time isn't running. But what it is general misconduct. So just as there is no rule in the rules of hockey that says you can't dissent towards an umpire, we still penalize that as being we still penalize that as misconduct with a personal penalty. We don't award fouls for it. Like, you don't reverse play because somebody dissents towards you, because there is no foul for that in the rules. But you can say, this is against the spirit of the game. I am going to, remove you, temporarily suspend you for a period of time for misconduct. We are empowered to do that. And even though it's not written that a yellow card can be given in anywhere, we kind of can. We can do whatever we want. No clubhouses for Jenny. You have to warn for time wasting, then you can card. But third quarter escalation, you understand the yellow. I don't even know if it's that it was escalation. It's just 3.5 minutes. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Stefan, being 3.5 minutes, yeah, it's really bad. There you go. Being carded is fair. I don't know if a yellow card could be used. It's given the amount of time late, it seems fair. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. And we do know that carding the captain is the right option. I think everybody seems to be on the same page on that, which is good. It should never affect play at low levels. Maybe a quick whistle to remind them to get going. Yep, there are prescribed penalties in place at national level, such as at this match. Yeah, but I think that's the point, Luke, is that we don't necessarily know if there is a prescribed penalty. Yeah, the waiting team has been disadvantaged, Dave. I agree. So, hi, Joel. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you. Teams also stay on the pitch for you. They tend to return to the field. They tend to delay. Yeah, so you tell the TDs when there's a minute. Yeah, like that's what we do to get them moving. So if the teams are there, it's easy to be proactive. When the teams have gone into a clubhouse, it's a lot harder. At international level, the technical team has a practice, I understand, where they divide up responsibilities with judges, and certain people will go and they will knock on the door of the locker room and knock, knock, knock. 1 minute, knock, 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 30 seconds, because if they're not coming out by 30 seconds, they're screwed. But they definitely go in there and they help. But it's the team manager's responsibility of those teams to make sure that the team responds. Yeah, you get them ready. If the team further delays, you call both captains to warn them. And yeah, there you go. Okay. I need about 4. Doesn't 2.3c apply to dissent? This is what you're able to substitute. There's no limit. Substitution time. So, what am I missing? 2.3c, substitution of a player. In the umpiring section of the rules, this stuff that happens after the rules of play, those aren't rules. These are objectives. Objectives and how to apply the rules and stuff. This is guidance. This is not the rules of hockey. And this hasn't been touched for about 4 decades. So don't think you're going to get anything useful out of that. And it certainly isn't binding. So let's see what you said in the poll. Did I have a poll in the... Oh, yeah, shit, I did. I was just too mad to even look at it. I'm just going to review the poll from 1A to see how funny it is, because I need a giggle. Okay, so good. Oh, what do you mean 2 people voted for that? I'm not mad at that. Never. Okay, 3 people understand that Zach Wallace's goal didn't give enough credit. 5 people understood that Arthur Van Doren's amazing PC save also should have had a lot of credit. Stadler's interception, amazing. 4 of you agree. There's also that. There's too many givens. Bully's given. Stupid technology. 1 decision doesn't determine the result. Thank you, Jenny, and all the above. Except for number 1. That's no number 1. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. Okay. How can I be? Okay, 2. What? Only 3 people voted? Look, there's a lot of you watching quietly. It's okay. You don't have to admit that you're here. But it'd be really cool if you voted, just so I understood what was happening. So half of you believe that, let's see. Oh yeah, so we have some blankers there. So two of you agree that the yellow card is good, and then you gave up on technology like I did. I understand. Yeah, she's so mad. She's so mad she's having another glass of wine. Gregor, you're here. Hey. I've been having a lot of fun with technology today, and I've already ranted a lot. You've missed it. There was a poll. Yeah. No, because I don't know. They blinked. I don't know what happened. You guys, yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to live stream. I'm just not going to. I don't have enough material. I'm feeling really negative. It's not fair for me to bring this to the community in this kind of state that I'm in. And then my hair looked really good. And I'm like, well, but my hair. Just wasn't about my hair. It was about being consistent and pushing through even if I don't feel like it and all those things. And you guys always cheer me up. So I thought, I'll do it. And you also had an option to the poll. I don't even want to know what it was. Let's find out. Oh, I have to do this so I can scroll. Not enough bullies. Luke already beat you to it. Nice try. So yeah, one of these fine days, people, one of these fine days, everything's going to go well. And yeah, it's just not going to be this day. Okay. Just a reminder that this absolute dog's breakfast of a show is being brought to you by something that actually works, which is mission control critical positioning. Oh, my mouth doesn't work. Mission critical positioning. I continue to get really nice feedback from everybody. And when I mean nice, I mean people are like, this shit works. And that's all I care about. If you are umpiring better, if you are running less, if you are making your big decisions with better accuracy, you feel more confident on the pitch, and everybody's like, oh my God, how did you get so good? We've done our jobs here. Right? So just go ahead and sign up. Why don't I have a link? I don't know. There we go. So have a look at it if you haven't signed up yet, if you haven't taken it. If you have, come back and tell me about it and give me a testimonial because I really like those. They feel really good. Let's see. Alistair, KNHB has set a set of standard agreements that support it, that supplement. It states for standard teams, first teams, the break is 10 minutes. Or as long as it takes to spray the pitch. Yep. So yeah, Emma got it right. Thanks for confirming that. Stefan's going to work. All right. We'll chat on consent. Thank you. And Bentley. Oh, Bentley. We will absolutely hang out, okay? Don't worry. We will hang out. We'll figure it out. I don't know what's going to be happening. Okay. But the other little piece of news on the whole merch front, I don't know if you saw this. I posted this on Twitter. But a few of you asked for this. Like, I think exactly 3 of you asked for it, which means obviously I'm going to do it. And you said, Keely, it'd be really cool if I had like a key fob so that if I'm talking to like my best umpiring friend and I'm saying, hey, have you done mission control position? Have you done mission critical positioning? Have you joined the server? It's really fun. And Keely would really like to be teased by you. And, you know, banter is fantastic. Here, scan this. This is the answer. So there's QR codes all over the screen. This is hilarious. But you could literally scan the QR code on the key fob right there, and that will take you to like a link tree. Or you could scan the key fob there, and that will take you to the actual product. Just order it for free, and we'll send you some. Because you're helping me, you're helping this community, you're helping us grow, and I appreciate that. So it's free. And if you buy something, one of those at least, and I don't know, maybe Simon will put a whole bunch in there. I'm not here to bust on his good time. He can do whatever he wants. He's the boss of himself. He'll slip him in with the package for you. So let's say you buy a duffel. Let's say you buy a water bottle. Not like this one, but one that I have over there. Maybe you buy a set of cards. You will receive a fob as well. And I thank each and every one of you for your support, and thank you for the great idea. There you go. I'm trying to figure out if I know who you are, but I don't think I do. So hi, Blaze G, and it's on the list. Yay. Definitely my hair. The hair is great, but MCP is better. And yes, actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do when I'm done. Is play your dance. If I can find it, I'll play it in the outro, but I don't think I can. Do I need a course to control my delivery of mission critical positioning? I need a course on controlling myself and just getting my shit together. Mission controls the FHU Discord. But see, that's gonna if I have an official reason to say mission control, is that gonna cure me or make it worse? I don't know. Do I ship to Namibia? I believe it's on the list. So I can't make any promises about how awful that's going to be. So, but if there's something you want to order and shipping looks ridiculous, let's talk about it. Okay. There will be an automatic shipping calculator. Oh yeah, I think I did a flat rate. So yeah, it's probably going to cost me a fortune to send stuff to you. So you better order something. Is what I'm saying. I was setting up the shipping options and I went, this is F. This is so complicated. And I don't want Simon to have to like weigh things and take measurements of the packages and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, F it. I'm going to go this price, this price, this price for these regions of the world. Bang. And then there's a few places that I won't ship to because of war. So other than that, go nuts. Oh, there he is. Except they haven't made it through. They have made it through customs. They're being held by Royal Mail. Customs have cleared them. I don't know what Royal Mail's doing. Please, Your Royal Highness, could you please just send them to Simon? I'd be very grateful. Thank you. You sewed into the pocket of your skirt. Good work. What? There was no air horn for who? Who did I not? Oh, for Blaze G. You're Rachel's like, girl, you get on that air horn. Oh my god. And you're better just from hearing me talk. Oh, Scott. Look, I don't mean to brag, but you actually take that course, and then, if you're in yellow, this gets included with your membership. For other people, I'm going to add this as an add-on, but get some video of yourself doing mission critical positioning, and I will review it for you and give you some coaching on it and let you know, got it or got some room for improvement. And there are people who show me their video and they're like, look at my MCP. And I'm like, about that. It's a great start, but let's just move you over to the right. And they're like, oh, you mean in there? I'm like, yeah, all the way that way. There you go. Oh, your full name's okay. We'll sort this out later. We'll sort it. And any Simon would do it. No, only the Simon that actually has my merch can do this. That's the way it goes. Nobody knows what it's not publicly owned anymore. Is it privately owned by the king? Can I blame your king for it? Our king, technically. Oh. Topic 3, dealing with non-verbal dissent. This was in the server, and I thought it was a really fantastic question. It's also an example of how we try to really focus our discussions on ways that we can help each other get better and find reasons and logic behind common practice. So instead of saying, well, I do it this way, so everybody should too, It's about, well, okay, if you've done it this way, what were your reasonings behind it? Let's talk about some of the things that might have been particular to that fact situation. Can we find a principle? Can we find a reason why we take certain actions, we apply certain remedies, we try certain management techniques, and then we have a common strategy, a way that we umpire, so that our administration of the game is consistent, is expected, and provides just a continually great experience for all the players. See, this is me just talking myself into positivity. So this was the question. It was about a particular expression of dissent using the raised hands, the what, you know. But even when I did that, I even added the verbal what. So Matt R asked this. I've noticed I've been doing this. Players who scream at me for a decision and raise both hands. I've noticed myself, I stop the game, I warn the player, and then get back to it. And if it continues, I give a green card after these warnings. Am I right to do this? Now, they might have a point that I may have missed a foul, he says. Good admission, they say. But the one thing that sticks with me is that I should stick to my decision unless I get better information from my colleague. So excellent. So I wanted to hear from you, and I think, have a poll that you can just sort of chime in on it. Please put it in the comments as well what you are looking at for this. And we had a couple really nice contributions in Ask FHU replying to this. It talked about how it's not just, you know, will never be at the one end of the spectrum, which is zero tolerance, don't ever show any emotion that's negative towards an umpire. And we're certainly not at the end of the spectrum of do whatever the hell you want, players, because it's not our job to get in the way. Because even without the shouting, so we as we talked, we tried to remove the shouting from the equation. Even without the shouting, visible demonstrations of disrespect and disgust and anger and all those things about a particular decision are detrimental to the integrity of the game. Disappointment and passion and things like that, there's that line of emotion that is okay to run up against, particularly in contexts where it's a bigger game or, you know, things like that. It's understandable. And yet there is a line that gets crossed, even if it's not an overt swear, even if it's not hugely loud, that the demonstration is still enough that you do not tolerate it to continue. So I'm looking for this. Oh, you liked? Okay, good. Any other comments yet? I have to delay until I hear more things. Oh, somebody got an order. Okay, good. For the fobs. So this is where when you've got that range and you've got that, you know, here's the line, and you're not sure if somebody stepped over it or not, or they haven't yet, this is where your management tools come in. And some of those approaches can include, like what Matt did, or Matt commonly does, as he says, is stopping time and having that conversation. And another can be more of the side conversations. And this is one of the ways that I prefer to deal with a lot of these things, because if I actually have to interrupt a game to have a conversation with a player, that is to the detriment of the game enough that the conduct is what has caused that. And I can just deal with that by carding a player. If I just want to help them understand where my line is and that they haven't reached it yet, but they're getting pretty darn close, is to talk to them as the play is continuing and they're not directly involved and I'm not directly involved. And that also might include a captain. And it's walking up and saying, hey, I get it. You don't agree with my decision. And I called it the best I could see it, but I need you not to remonstrate me like that. to show that much anger. Are we cool? I'm doing my best here, and I appreciate your help in making sure this game's great. Something. I don't know. That's very verbose. I probably wouldn't say all those words. But I would try to have that side conversation. I'd go to the captain and say, that, not okay. Deal with that. Okay? Like, let's stay on the right side of this. And especially if I have a relationship with that captain, that is a quick, easy conversation because they know I'm giving them the opportunity to get things done right, which is always nice. Okay. Am I sure I was not at your Servette and Black Boys games 2 weeks ago? I'm not sure of anything today. All I know is that my hair is pretty good and I'm still live. That's about all I've got confirmed. And that tech hates me today. Well, let's see what you have in the poll. Do zombies only post dead memes? I don't know. Oops. I'm going the wrong way because I want to scroll. Let's see what you guys said. If anybody voted, people are voting today. Not a huge voting. But there isn't a poll. That's why. Hi. Since this has been going so well, how about I just cover a couple bonus topics? Your card carry strategy. Oh, wait. Oh, come on. Now Steve's going to come back? Wait. Okay, now I have to go do that again. But I'm okay with that. Where's my... This is the only way I know how to get back to it. My buttons are all messed up. Okay. Here, Godders, here's your thought process. What was the reason? Was it my mistake? Does the decision need an explanation? Does the reaction implicate or impact me or the game? Can I ignore it? If not, what do I do? Then act. Yes. I really like that. And a lot of that is because of this part. Does the reaction impact me or the game? And I would argue that we need to be as careful as we can be about removing our ego and about how we feel when someone attacks our decision making. And we take that right out of this because it's not about our feelings. We can come on live streams to express our feelings. We don't need that to be the primary concern during the game. So what you're always doing is protecting the integrity of the game. Sometimes the integrity of the game can be impugned even by a very subtle non-broadcast thing, like the racist comment that nobody else hears, or the homophobic slur or the sexist slur that's quiet. Those things are still so impactful and so harmful that it doesn't matter that not the entire pitch heard it, that only 2 people heard it. That is still harm to the game. So you're weighing in a bunch of those factors in order to determine what is needed for the integrity of the game. But I like that. I like that. And Jonathan saying that his match was there. Absolutely. Okay. Should I wait again for another few seconds until there's another comment? See if I go over here and I can just cheat ahead. Nope, it seems good. Okay. Bonus points, because I'm doing so well. We did have a brief conversation about card carry because of this Instagram delight. Speaking of mistakes, why is it giving the PC defense? That is not the don't look at that will be in the comments. It's getting triggered improperly. But yeah. So, I mean, who hasn't done this once in their career? If you haven't done it in your career, it's going to happen to you, where you pull out your cards and you are so sure you've got your green card ready and it ends up being the red. And you're like, oh, I did that, I think, in my second season at Durham University back in like 2007 and 2008. I just, because like many women umpires who wear skirts, I only have one pocket and all my pockets were in this, or all my cards were in the same pocket, and I pulled them out as a group, and then I pulled the one off the top because I think that's going to be my green card. But if I've somehow put them in the wrong order, or if my brain's farted, which seems to happen very frequently these days, that accidentally was a red card. So we had a discussion in the server about whether we put our cards in different pockets or not. And in general, if you have the chance to do that, I like that strategy. I think it's a good way to mitigate against the risk of accidentally showing the wrong card. Part of it is that the motion of bringing out all of the cards, though, can be a way that you are starting the motion and you're still getting to your, yeah, definitely this is going to be the yellow, this is going to be the yellow, this is going to be the yellow. I've already decided it's going to be the yellow, here comes the yellow. And you can grab it. Instead, you might be saying, have I decided if it's yellow yet? I'm not really sure. What if it's a green? What if it's a yellow? And you start going back and forth between your two pockets. Or you're not going back and forth, you're not doing anything, and you just look undecided. You could see an extenuating circumstance, the reaction of the player right afterwards when you pull out that green card to show them, and then they swear at you. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, that was a mistake. I actually meant the yellow card and the 10 minutes. So that is there. Godders is already commenting once it comes up on my broadcast here that the red card is in the back pocket and out of the way. Yeah, it just helps. Sometimes you do end up mistaking the two. I got to do my push-ups soon, by the way. I'm just going to snooze on that one. But there are pros and cons to both approach. The smoother your operation is, as Chardet as you can get about pulling your cards out of your pocket and showing them, it helps you in what is a high stress, high attention situation in the game. So whatever you do, develop your system and practice it. And I know it's going to sound dumb, but honestly, to practice the motion, put on the trousers, the skirt, the shorts, whatever it is that you're wearing as you umpire. Always wear the same clothing as much as you can, weather dependent, and practice. Where are you going to put your cards? Does that work? Do you like having, what are you going to do with your whistle when you pull your cards out of your pocket? All those sort of things. Give it a shot, because the smoother it looks, the better the presentation will be, the more convincing it is for players, and the faster you can get back to the game that has been interrupted by that breakdown play, and the team that's been broken down can get back to doing something awesome. Because every second that you're taking in dealing with the card is another second that the defending team gets to sort back their defense. Okay? Stephen, with your patriarchal 4 pockets, one in each, then anything else in the 4th pocket. There you go. You've used red in a different pocket before. Yep. Rachel, if you had a 3rd pocket, they'd all be in different, but you do green and yellow and red separated. Yep. That sounds. How posh are they? You can't use your back pocket. You haven't unpicked the stitches. Well, whose fault is that? What do you mean you haven't unpicked the stitches? You want that to lie just super flat because it's more flattering? Come on. Jolt, if you had an option, you can add an option. You can add options to many of these polls. I just try not to encourage it because people start chiming in with, let's restart with the bully. Let's see. You do green in one pocket for fast action, the other two together, as that's more deliberate. Okay. I like that. That makes some sense. Your favorite color is yellow. Well, look, girl got to do what you got to do. Blue card in the 4th pocket. I like that too. Mike Mac. Courtney, you put your cards in the clubhouse. Oh, yes, you do. behind a thick pane of glass. This is interesting. I don't know what's happening with my stream. Looks to be something different than what I'm doing right now. It's replaying at some point. Who knows? And yes, here's another good. Simon left pocket, yellow right pocket, green and red in the back. Yeah. That's what my and it works. Okay. So if that's not something you've ever thought of, you're welcome. Now you've thought of it. And if you have strong feelings, I don't know, let me know either way. I can't touch the table because it shakes my backup camera. Thank goodness I had it today. So, that brings us to the end of another What Up Wednesday. Away from it. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your contributions. I appreciate you humoring me as I go through all my technical difficulties. And thank you for humoring me on my rant. I had to get it out there. And I think for all of us who are in positions of broadcast, of influence, I also reflect back on the ways that I speak about things, as I did last week, and think about how I can do it better while still staying true to what is my rather vociferous, opinionated, strong-minded self, but with a note, hopefully, that ties throughout, which is that of integrity, and that it's always in service of the game and the truth, and not about ego and feelings. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you. And let's see, Mike's recommending the 365 Adidas trousers. They come with back pocket stitch. I don't know. There are ways to deal with it. There are. Let's see. Green up right sleeve, yellow up left sleeve. Oh, when the weather's really bad? Yeah, I'm trying to think. That would be interesting. You're like a magician. I have nothing in these hands. Great topics. Oh, thank you. Well, it was a little skinny today, but I made the most out of it. We have going on right now, today was the first day of competition in Santiago, Chile with the Pan Am Games, which is our qualifier for the Olympic Games, our direct continental qualifier. So Canada beat Brazil 2-0 and USA beat Trinidad and Tobago 6-1. There will be obviously more matches to come. I am trying to find ways to share with you, but nothing's been broadcast yet on the Pan American Game channel. So what do I do? Starting in the next 2 days, the Asian Champions Trophy for women and the Sultan of Johor Cup. There's usually available coverage of the Sultan of Johor Cup, so I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully we can have some FHE3T watch parties for those matches. They don't like it when I use their clips, but too bad. It's called the DMCA. And I'm trying to promote your event. So bite me. And then there's also the African Road to France, African Hockey Road to France, which was formerly known as the Olympic qualifier because it's an Olympic qualifier. So it's their continental qualifier for that, and that's going on somewhere in South Africa. They're hosting. So there's a ton of hockey over the next 3 weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to share and learn from it, a lot of it live, and I will undoubtedly have something to talk about that is very current during our next few broadcasts, no doubt. Be the same, be better. And you really appreciate this. You're becoming, oh, thank you. Ooh, and you're going to test it out. Let me know how it goes. And Benno, make sure that you have a conversation with your UM. And you don't have to be like, Keely told me to do this. That's not what I mean. I mean, share what you've learned about it and say, this is what I'm working on and I'm trying. This is why I'm doing it. I would really like to have your feedback on, it's going to look weird. It's going to look different. Does it work? Am I making accurate decisions? Do I look strong in my presentation? Am I still in good positions to support my colleague? How can I do this better? And we're at this turning point, I think, where this style of positioning is it is winning the day. It's tipped and we're now starting to fall over, but it's really difficult, I know, as being an umpire out there, and sometimes the people who are in charge of you do not have the same education that haven't had the same opportunity to get to know this. If they have questions, send them my way. If somebody is an umpire manager or coach and they're like, what are you teaching these people? I'll be like, here, take the course. I don't care. I just want everybody to learn. Okay. So that would be great. You're late. That's all right. That's all right. And you're very welcome, AJ. Good to see you as always. And I hope that you're probably close to being done down there. But if you're not, then I hope you're having a good wrap up to your championship weekends and such down there in the US. And I appreciate all of you. Thanks for joining in, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy your hockey this weekend.